Hello and welcome to Solar Power World Solar Speaks Live, powered by Unirac at Solar Power International 2016. I'm Kathy Zip, and today we are speaking with Mark Begert, Executive Vice President and Director of Austin-based solar contractor Meridian Solar. So Mark, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Kathy.
Absolutely. So you've been with Meridian since 2008, so almost 10 years.
That's right.
And during that time, you helped the company kind of shift from residential and commercial solar to an EPC company focused exclusively on the commercial, public, and utility scale market segment. So you're not even really doing residential anymore. So this is a significant shift. And so I'm just wondering if you can share why this strategy made sense for Meridian and maybe some guiding business principles that were important to you in that shift, the whole process.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So Meridian Solar was founded in 1999 by Andrew McCullough, who is our president and CEO.
Yes, I actually know him well. I remember working with him, yes.
Okay, great. And at the time, obviously, he was more or less a pioneer, among others, who had been in the industry since the mid-90s, really, as a distributor and doing some design work, etc. When Andrew started in 1999 in Texas, he hung out at Shingle. He was doing everything for everyone. So it was off-grid work, battery backup stuff. He was doing some small, residential. And then as the market developed a little bit in the early part of this century, 2000 to 2005, Andrew took on projects of ever greater complexity, more small commercial, more mid-sized commercial, etc. And was really one of the only ones in Texas doing that at the time. Wow. So the experience that the company gained in the design and engineering phase and working on more complex projects than simple residential ultimately led us in 2008 and 2009 to determine the C&I space was where we had a substantial differentiation. These projects require a different level of expertise. We were a registered engineering firm. We were a licensed electrical contractor. The residential installers were really not able to reach up for system sizes of that complexity before. So we decided that the residential side of the market was more or less commoditized, and commercial was where we could differentiate ourselves. And so really the guiding principles, as you point, would be just a real premium on efficient design and an understanding of the technical aspects above and beyond what perhaps a more simple residential solar system might require.
What about just kind of knowing the market around you in your state? I mean, are there a lot of potential C&I customers? Is it important to kind of take a look from that perspective too?
Well, I think past performance is so important, particularly with C&I customers, because they're going to have a greater level of sophistication within their facilities management group, within their C-suite, and so you have to be able to speak at a technical level that will work with those people, and being able to refer to past performance and projects with other reputable companies lends itself to being able to have that credibility and be able to do these types of projects with companies that need to see that in there before they're going to sign a contract.
Right. That's a whole different ball game, really, than the residential.
That's right.
So. Well, another thing that I found interesting, I was looking at your LinkedIn, and I saw that you're on boards for 2 nonprofits.
Right.
And why is nonprofit work and community involvement important to you, and even to your business? I mean, is this something that other members of your company get involved in too?
Well, we encourage it, definitely. We want our employees to be active, members of the community. We want them to be supporting not only solar, but whatever particular cause that they find energizing to them. it's about sort of personal growth as much as it's about professional growth. The nonprofits that I'm associated with are renewable energy oriented. One is Solar Austin, which really it's about advocacy to not only the city but the state. Austin being the capital of Texas. So we spend time working with Austin Energy, with the city council, and even at the legislative level, in order for us to promote renewables, promote solar, promote policies that support solar. And so, yes, it's self-serving to some degree because that's the industry I'm in, and that's where we're trying to make our mark. But at the same time, creating that type of awareness, the education, the enlightenment that comes from these types of nonprofit organizations is also very important to the overall, I think, health of the industry.
Right, that makes a lot of sense for contractors to get involved in those kind of nonprofit opportunities.
Right.
So another thing that I've read is that reports have said that Texas will become the second largest solar market in the next 5 years. So that's a huge thing, and I'm just wondering, from your perspective, what makes Texas so primed for solar success, and how are you getting ready to take advantage of it?
Well, I guess first and foremost, we've got great resource. It's particularly West Texas. The insulation is tremendous. But in addition to that, the infrastructure that has been in place since the expansion of our grid via the CREZ lines that was really supportive of the growth of wind initially over the last decade, but now is also poised to support the growth of solar, has made a big difference. So where the resource is best, we have transmission to bring it back to the metropolitan areas, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, which are 4 of the, call it 15 largest cities in the country. So in a population of around 26 million people in Texas. So I think it's a combination of solid infrastructure. We have a culture of energy development. And it's just been a function of getting that price point down to a level to where it truly competes with the other generation that is available to Texas. And I also believe that a better understanding of the generation, of the source of solar, and how it can play an important role in the overall generation mix and profile of these different utilities is now it's now well known how this resource can benefit and mix and play with natural gas, play with wind, and so that's the other reason why education is another reason.
That's education is has been and is still so important to the industry, but it's good to know that people are starting to respond and understand it and really get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a challenge, right? I mean, we've got extremely low electricity prices at the wholesale level, but at the same time, you're seeing a extraordinary amount of development. I believe the interconnection queue is 2 to 3 gigawatts right now. So there's a lot of solar being planned, and I think as utilities gain a better awareness and understanding of how solar can play a role in their generation profile and mix, then you're going to see more PPAs and more finance, more investment coming into the market.
So do you feel like Meridian is in a good position to prepare for that increase in business, and are you looking, you're hiring more people? Are you looking to really get to customers first?
Well, I would say that Meridian's focused on commercial industrial first and foremost, and I believe that that will lag the utility scale development that's occurring. So I don't know that the Texas DG market will experience the type of growth that the utility sector is poised to experience for the next several years it's going to be slower, but just by virtue of the awareness that's raised around the generation, around the asset itself, around the solar's profile, I think we're going to see more community solar in
Right.
Texas. I think that's going to be an important market,
Right.
and that's poised for substantial growth. In fact, we've worked on a couple of community solar projects already this year. And then ultimately you're going to see more C&I projects being developed, not only in those areas where there are currently incentives, which is North Texas, Austin, and San Antonio, but reaching a price point where it makes sense in the Houston metropolitan area, for example.
That's wonderful. Very exciting time to be part of the Texas market, and it sounds like you're very well prepared to really embrace it and continue to do well. So I think that wraps up this edition of Solar Speaks Live at Solar Power International, powered by Unirac. And I want to thank Mark for being here with us. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And be sure to stop by through the show to see more. This is our last day, so come see more Solar Speaks Live interviews. And thank you so much, everyone.